I heard Chicago speak about what their weapons are and their magazines, but I didn't hear the sheriff and I didn't hear the state police talk about how their weapons compared to people that they have to face when they are called into places like schools.
Our standard is Glocks 9mm, and it's 6 rounds traditionally.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Freedom Steel. Todd Vandermeid, former NRA contract lobbyist and Illinois gun law guru. So, what you just heard was Representative LaShawn Ford asking the sheriff and the state police what their duty loadouts are for their officers, because we often hear this exclamation that the cops on the street are being outgunned by the criminals. And yes, the sheriff did say that the typical duty loadout is 6 rounds to 9mm. Sheriff Dart clearly misspoke, because later on in the day, CWB Chicago, through a sheriff's office policy request, update per a sheriff's office policy provided to us. Duty weapons are to be 9mm and have the same standard issue magazine. Note, standard issue magazine. Typically 15 or 17 rounds, and the officers/deputies are to carry at least 3 magazines on duty. Good for them. The sheriff probably ought to bone up on some of his policies before he goes in front of a legislative committee, but hey, whatever. So I was asked about this a little later in the committee hearing during the question and answer portion of our panel. And rather than rehash that for you, let's just roll the tape.
Heard from our first panel how our law enforcement community is being outgunned by private citizenry. Obviously, they're more concerned about the criminal aspect of it. How do we prevent our law enforcement community from being outgunned by its citizenry?
Representative, if any law enforcement agency in this state, if their officers are outgunned, that's a policy decision for the higher-ups within that agency. They have access to firearms the average citizen doesn't have access to because they're governmental entities. And if they are hamstrung by what they're... I have a picture of 5 Chicago police officers standing outside a police officer's home to protect it with AR-15s. They're called patrol rifles by the department. If they're not allowed to have those in the cars, that's a policy decision based on the CPD or any other law enforcement agency in this state. That's the problem, is that there are administrators, whether they be elected officials or the higher-ups within the police departments, that don't want to, one, invest in training, because I see them training at my gun club all the time, and I know how well or how poorly they do. I work with federal agencies, local agencies from around this state, renting ranges and helping them out and building a facility. And I can tell you they don't get enough training. And if there are decisions there that our police are outgunned, there are decisions made at a policy level to allow that to happen.
So there you have it. They tried to set us up, and with this whole magazine thing, or whether you want to talk about semi-auto magazine fed firearms, you know, why should the cops be outgunned? And the fact is, if law enforcement in the state is outgunned, it is solely because of the policy decisions made of administrators, politically correct chiefs, or somebody who just doesn't trust the cops. They won't invest in training. They won't give them the range time. They won't give them the ammo. Those are the things that they can shorten on the budget, because God knows they got to have all this training about pronouns and sensitivity and everything else. But anyways, that is another snippet from the committee hearing the other day. They tried to play some more gotcha questions and just not having any part of it. So thank you for watching. So guys, thanks for the support. Subscribers are going up. The views are going up. It's all being real helpful. We're getting a lot of great feedback from people. So again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, pass this, copy this, share this around to all your social media, post it on your Facebook or Instagram pages or anything like that. And as always, frag out.